Hello fellow Minecrafters, Gearsaw Studios here. Today I'm going to show you how to build a KFC, so that way you can have a new place for your Yo Mama jokes and amplify them. However, before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. So, with that, onto the tutorial. Now, as any good builder should do, we should make a palette for this build. Since the logo includes red is going to be a major color, some white with alternations between quartz and smooth quartz, birch planks for the floor, and gray concrete and cyan terracotta for the frame, because having one block frame is really repetitive. With these blocks, you should start making a frame, mostly out of gray concrete. So go unique with your shapes, but make sure that the entrance is at least 3 wide. Now, once you've done the frame, I recommend adding a little bit of a sign at the front. Since there are a couple ways to advertise that this is a KFC and not a McDonald's or other similar company, we need a way in order to display that. You could do that through sign, banners with letters, but I think a cool way to do it would be using some stairs and slabs. So grab some smooth quartz and grab their slab variant and try making the letters, which can be a little bit difficult. So you may need to look up some tutorials online for this because I unfortunately have not made a tutorial on this yet. So try to make some K, make a K, then make an F and then a C. Now I have some letters here that spell out KFC. And it's not necessarily the best, but it's the best I could do with 3x3. And credit to Magma Museum, or at least I think that's their name, for helping me create this. Their tutorial is in the description. After this, start making more frames. So divide up this build into various sections, so that way we can add windows easier. Now the walls are divided up, and I've added a couple extra details to the building. So you can see the front has more framing, and the walls are starting to be put in. However, you should get a little bit of the interior in, so that way you can understand a little bit more of what you're going to do. So, make sure that you fill in the floor with birch planks. As you can see, now we have a nice area which we can see people in. Although it's not very big, that's because we have to divide up the other areas of the build. So, divide it up with some cyan terracotta. I'm still working on dividing up the various areas of the building, but one thing you should know is how to do the walls. The walls in here are going to be a checkerboard pattern between the smooth quartz and normal quartz pattern, because this creates, well, a checkerboard pattern that looks pretty cool. As you look around, there's a lot of progress being done since you can now build walls and you are mapping out various parts of the build. You should have a cooking area, a cashier area, a break room, manager's office, and, if you can, storage. So make sure that there's room for all of those things. But since we are doing quite a bit of building, that also means a lot less sunlight. So lighting is going to be installed in the form of sea lanterns. Sea lanterns right here will be pretty good, and you just add them at various parts of the build, because that allows you to see better. Now, with a couple sea lanterns installed to add some lighting to the build, it's time to work on part of the cashier menu area. Since KFC serves chicken, chicken can be on everything. And they do serve a lot of chicken, so you can make some rather outrageous things, such as 100 chicken nuggets for $3. Now, with the menu filled up with some very, very normal menu items, it's time to work on other parts of the build. This is going to be the bathroom, so I recommend replacing the ground with some calcite, because bathrooms can get kind of dirty and the last thing you want is a moldy floor. The same thing can be done for the kitchen, But over here is going to be a simple stairwell, so it can have some birch flooring. Up here, we can't have birch flooring here due to the presence of a fire here, because the ovens could catch something on fire. But over here, we can have wood floors, and over here, wooden floors are probably okay. So do all that. Looking at the ceiling from the lower floor, you may notice something's wrong, and that's that it's not made out of a normal block. Rather, it's made out of slabs. This is to make sure that there's more room down here because this is a relatively compact build. So, whenever you build above the kitchen or the soon-to-be bathrooms, I recommend building out of slabs to save space. Now, with a floor in, I recommend adding doors so that way you have room for everything. This is going to be the break room with the storage room right next to it, which we can add a vending machine here because apparently my design's actually kind of decent. Over here, manager's office. Then this is just going to be a rather empty room just because it has only the stairwell in it. Along with that, finish off all the walls you haven't done, and any holes in the walls, excluding this one for a drive-through, should have windows in them. So that way we have a very enclosed building. Now, with all the basic stuff inside, such as walls and lighting, it's time to add one detail to the outside. First, start by towering up with some gray concrete, and it doesn't have to be too high. Then, grab yourself some red concrete again, and start making a bucket of chicken. And these can be exceptionally hard to build in Minecraft, considering our blocky game has only, blocks. So it might be a little hard to build, so it might take a couple of attempts. But try building a chicken bucket, so that way you can truly show that this is how big of a bucket your mom eats at KFC. Now, with the bucket to empower your Yo Mama jokes, you can now start working on the interior. I recommend having a drink dispenser in this cooking area. So, in order to build that, I recommend basalt, place 2 down, gray concrete, and you might want to move yours in order to not cover any lighting. Then, place down 2 buttons. Make sure that they're crimson and warped respectively, so that way it can simulate 2 different options. And now you have a drink dispenser. There's other things to add though, so I'm going to do that off camera. Now we have an air fryer thing with 2 different buttons, a smoker, a trash can, and an improved drink dispenser that includes a little button to be the actual dispenser and a flower pot cup. Now it's time to go to the upstairs part. And this one particular detail that I'm going to add can get a little annoying. So, grab some ice and grab gray concrete. At first, this seems completely normal, but if you're to turn on a light really close by, you can see that it melts. So you're going to have to do some unique lighting solutions in order to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, for the rest of the break room, which we now have an overhead light for, add a couch, which can be made out of smooth quartz, and you can add a cauldron and add some azalea trees to it. So, just 1 or 2 leaves, and now you have a cute little plant and a complete break room. Although, you could add a small table like this. Now, we have a very complete break room. That should satisfy all employee needs. Over here, we can do the storage area. So, I recommend walling this off and adding a new overhead light, and grab some glass and bookshelves. Now, with a vending machine in the storage room, place down some barrels and possibly some brown shulker boxes. This will be the rest of the storage in this storage room. And now we have the vending machine that for some reason is in every storage room or mechanic shop or whatever. And we have some storage, which means there's only two things left in this entire build: the manager's office and the dining area. For the manager's office here, we're going to have a bookshelf here because for some reason they have one containing all the company policies. Then add a desk over here, and you might have to move it to add a chair, but there's not much room, so I'm not going to do that. And another chair, so that way they can get all confrontational when you take a break on your non-scheduled break time. Then add a slab. Now we have a little manager's office. So there's only one thing left to do: the dining area. So the dining area is pretty simple because all you have to do is add tables, which is just some stairs and slabs. Now we have some tables, which might be a little bit uncomfortable to sit in, but the important thing is we have some tables, and I almost forgot about this room, the bathroom. So grab some dark oak doors, and I'm just going to have a single bathroom, unlike my last restaurant build. So divide up the stalls, and for the toilet itself, cauldron, and a tripwire. This more or less acts as any toilet ever, and it's kind of hard to build toilets in Minecraft, so it is a little annoying. Now, for a sink, do the same thing, and add something like a lever to act as the faucet. Now, we have a nice little bathroom here, which might have a very unusable stall. Now, although the exterior walls and the interior are done, there's a final thing you can add. Because this roof is looking awfully flat, you can add some air conditioning units to cover up the sea lanterns. So, 2 air conditioning units. And now you can add a third one, even though there's no light to cover up here. Now we have a slightly more detailed roof, but don't over detail your roof because remember, this is a rather modern build. But with that, it's pretty much complete, and we have a cute little establishment which you could technically hide an automatic cooked chicken farm under. So with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So with that, take care. Don't switch between vanilla and paper MC super quick while standing in a bridge in the end. It does not have good consequences for your netherite armor. Gearsaw out.